My name is Kunotek Pani. I'm a wellness counselor for the Department of Health and Social Services at the mental health here in Nunavut.
You maybe tell me a little bit more about that client that you feel is suicidal or that you know are struggling. What does that client look like? And a normal person, I would think.
We have all kinds of clients that do come here. Most of them that feel suicidal, some aren't. When I see someone that is thinking of suicide, then I make sure I help them. We talk to them. We make sure that they're not alone and someone's with them there to talk to them about what's happening with their thoughts of suicide. Do you think talking about suicide may give someone the idea to take their own life?
That's not true. People who are worried or depressed or not doing well may be thinking about suicide, but your asking them will not make it any more of a plan in their mind. In fact, what it may do is show that person that you really care and that you're concerned about them, and it may actually invite them to open up and talk a little bit about their problems, which may end up helping them. And if they did have a plan, changing their mind about going forward with that because they know there's help available. The best way for people to get over a terrible thing is to experience the feelings that are happening when they're happening. So to cry, to be sad, to be confused about why it happened. And over time, by experiencing their feelings, people will learn to cope with even a terrible thing like a suicide.
A person who attempts suicide is only looking for attention?
I've heard that myth, that a person who attempts suicide is just looking for attention. I would say that's not true. When someone attempts suicide, it means something. It means something is not right. So rather than saying that the person might only be looking for attention, we need to be asking, why is that person trying to get our attention? Suicide does not run in families, and sometimes when a suicide has taken place, or more than one suicide has taken place in a family or in a community, one can understand how people might start to feel that it's the only option for them. But we know that there's nothing about suicide that is genetic. It's not in your genes. It's not going to happen to you simply because it happened to someone you knew or know and someone that you love. Do you have any sort of personal experience with suicide that maybe had something to do with why you wanted to help people?
Because I saw this lady who tried to commit suicide, and I didn't know it was suicide, but until she shot herself. She told us to get out of the house, and she shot herself, and then she came out and said, "Help, help." So we ran back to the house and ran to the nursing station right 2 minutes away from my place, and we got the nurse. And she lived because we ran to get help for her.
That's a good story.
It is. I mean, I grew up with all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a nephew who has a mental illness, a serious mental illness, and he has attempted suicide more than once. And I think the reason that I like to work with people who are struggling is because I know that most people struggle. He struggles very often, and life is really difficult for him. But I think through knowing him, I understand that there's always help. Yes. And, he might be having a terrible time, and many times he's attempted suicide. And every time after he is saved, he tells us that he's glad that he wasn't successful. So, especially for young people, when things are so terrible, it's really difficult to see that next week or tomorrow or next year, your life can be so much better. And so, if there's people in the community like you running to get the nurse, or like me helping my sister understand his illness better, then we can help people get to that time in their life when maybe things aren't so bad. Right?
Yes, so true.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be.
Yes.
To, get help and ask for help and talk to someone.
Yeah. There's nothing to be ashamed of about being in trouble.
Exactly.
We've all been there.
Yes. They have to come out and share and talk about it.
Yep.
Otherwise they'll be so down.
Mm-hmm.
So at least get them to come out to try and get help so that we can help them.
Exactly.
Yeah.